Hello guys, welcome to yet another wonderful session of learning with Prepclass. My name is Tutor Olalekan Israel, your Prepclass English tutor, and I say welcome to yet another wonderful session of learning with Prepclass. Now in today's session, we will be answering question 51 to question 55 from the Jamb English 2017 past question. Remember, the purpose of this session is to help you prepare for your forthcoming Jamb examination. So, without wasting much time, let's proceed. Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe to this channel, turn on the post notifications so you can be notified whenever we upload any new content. Alright, let's begin. Now, for question 51 to question 55, we have an instruction here. The instruction reads, in each of the questions 51 to 55, choose the option that best completes the gap or gaps as the case may be. In each of the questions 51 to 55, choose the option that best completes the gap or gaps as the case may be. Question 51 reads, the project which seemed very near realization dashed because of lack of funds. The project which seemed very near realization dashed because of lack of funds. A. Fell through because of lack of funds. B. Fell over because of lack of funds. C. Fell down because of lack of funds. D. Fell in because of lack of funds. So, which of these options is the best to complete the gap in this sentence? Now, the answer to this question is option A, fell through. The project which seemed very near realization fell through because of lack of funds. When something falls through, it means it failed. It came to nothing. So, the project failed. Although it was very near realization, but because of lack of funds, it fell through. It failed. Now, it is not fell over, because fell over means to trip and fall to the ground. It is not fell down. Fell down means to drop or to descend to the ground accidentally. It is not fell in. Fell in means to sink inward, like I just sank inward in my seat now. Now, it also means to take one's proper place in a military formation. It means to take one's proper place in a military formation. So, the answer is option A, fell through. Fell through is the past tense of fall through. When something falls through, it means it failed. It came to nothing. So, the project which seemed very near realization failed. It came to nothing. It fell through because of lack of funds. So, the answer is option A. Alright, moving on to the next question, question 52. Remember, we had to select the option that best completes the gap in this sentence. Question 52 reads, Jane asked James dash. A. Jane asked James whether could she meet him later. B. Jane asked James could he meet him later. C. Jane asked James if she could meet her later. D. Jane asked James that she could meet him later. So which of these is the best to complete this sentence? Which of these options is the best to fill the gap in this sentence? Now, the answer to this question is option C. Jane asked James if she could meet her later. Jane asked James if she could meet her later. Now, this sentence is a reported speech. Jane already asked James the question, but somebody else is reporting it. The question Jane asked was, can I meet you later? Asked Jane. That is what in the direct speech. Can I meet you later? Asked Jane. Now, it is then reported as Jane asked James if she could meet her later. Somebody else is reporting the speech now. Jane asked James if she could meet her later. Now, in yes or no questions, we use if or whether to report the question. Now, this question is a yes or no question. Can I meet you later? Yes or no. That's the answer you're going to give. So, in yes or no questions, we use if or whether to report the question. Now we are reporting the question. Jane asked James if she could meet her later. Although if is more common. Now, one of the uses of if is to make a polite request. Jane asked James if I could meet her later. If she could meet her later, sorry. Jane asked James if she could meet her later. This is a polite request. So, the answer is option C. Jane asked James if she could meet her later. It is a reported speech. The question Jane asked was, can I meet you later? Asked Jane. But in the reported speech format, it comes like this. Jane asked James if she could meet her later. Alright, moving on to the next question, question 53. Remember, we had to select the best option to complete the gap in this sentence. Question 53 reads, if the company had any delay at the customs office, it was dash their own making. If the company had any delay at the customs office, it was dash their own making. A, it was at their own making. B, it was of their own making. C, it was from their own making. D, it was with their own making. So which of these options is the best to fill the gap in this sentence? Now, the answer to this question is option B, of. If the company had any delay at the customs office, it was of their own making. If the company had any delay at the customs office, it was of their own making. Now, this sentence means that any delay that might occur at the customs office would be their fault, would be the fault of the company. When we say something is of someone's making, it means it's their fault. So, if the company had any delay at the customs office, it was of their own making. It was their own fault. The answer is option B, of. Alright, moving on to the next question, question 54. Remember, we had selected the option that best completes the gap in this sentence. Question 54 reads, by the end of this year, dash in this town for 11 years. By the end of this year, dash in this town for 11 years. A, I will have lived in this town for 11 years. B, I am living in this town for 11 years. C, I have lived in this town for 11 years. D, I will live in this town for 11 years. Which of these options is the best to fill the gap in this sentence? Now, the answer to this question is option A. By the end of this year, I will have lived in this town for 11 years. The year is yet to come to an end, but you are projecting that by the end of this year, if you calculate how long you've been living in this town, you will have lived in this town for 11 years. This question is derived from the topic real future and unreal future. Now, real future is one that will most likely become a reality, while unreal future is one that will most likely not become a reality. Now, for real and unreal future, the auxiliary verbs commonly used to fill the gaps are shall, will, and would. Now, in this question, we have used will. I will have lived, which is what the contracted form of I will have lived. I will have lived is the contracted form of I will have lived in this town for 11 years. So, the answer is option A. By the end of this year, the year is yet to end, but you are projecting into the future. I will have lived in this town for 11 years. That is, if you count how long you've been living in the town by the end of this year, it will have been for 11 years. I will have lived in this town for 11 years. Alright, moving on to the next question, question 55. Remember, we had selected the option that best fills the gap in this sentence. Question 55 reads, dash listening to the news when I came in. Dash listening to the news when I came in. A, there were listening to the news when I came in. B, there was listening to the news when I came in. C, it was listening to the news when I came in. D, they were listening to the news when I came in. Now, the answer to this question is option D, they. They were listening to the news when I came in. They is a plural subject pronoun. They refers to what? More than one person. They, plural. Subject, the performer of the action, they were listening to the news. And they is also a pronoun. So, they is a plural subject pronoun. They means more than one. It is a subject pronoun because what? It is found in the subject position. It performs the action. Now, were is a past tense verb. They were listening to the news when I came in. That means what? The action was happening before you came in. And you met them was still listening to the news. They were listening to the news when I came in. This sentence is an example of a sentence in the past continuous tense form. Now, the past continuous tense is used to talk about a continuing action. It is used to talk about a continuing action in the past before another action happened in the past. Now, let's break this sentence down. They were listening to the news. This is what? A past continuous tense. It's an action continuing in the past. Where is a past tense verb. They were listening. Listening is a continuous verb. So, they were listening to the news talks about an action continuing in the past before another action happened in the past. What is the other action that happened in the past? When I came in. So I came in is the other action that happened in the past. Remember, the past continuous tense is used to talk about a continuing action in the past, which is what they were listening to the news. It was a continuing action in the past before another action happened in the past when I came in. I came in is a past tense action, came. So the answer is option D. They were listening to the news when I came in. Now options A and B are wrong. There, T-H-E-R-E, talks about a place. Where is it? There. So it is wrong. They are both wrong. Option C, it, is used to refer to animals or things. The correct answer is option D, they. It is plural subject pronoun. They is used to talk about plural persons. They were listening to the news when I came in. So the answer is option D. Alright, and with that we've come to the end of this wonderful session. Please do not forget to subscribe to this channel. If you enjoyed this video, click on the like button. Do not forget to drop your questions in the comment section. Also, share this content with your friends and loved ones. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.